Texas Governor Greg Abbott might as well be campaigning in New Mexico because some of his biggest fans reside in that state. And that's because of the fact that he made the terrible decision to do extra security checks of commercial vehicles traveling across Texas's southern border. And that has caused serious delays for commerce. And as a result, now the route has been changed through New Mexico rather than Texas. And in fact, that plan might be expanded in the near future. So again, this has to do with Abbott's decision to do needless extra security checks. And it was all part of his political ploy, his political strategy to garner more support for his gubernatorial race. And it's not playing out so well. In fact, the state already lost $4.2 billion as a result. And things are about to get even worse. So trucks were rerouted through Santa Teresa when Abbott's inspections snarled commercial traffic at Texas border crossings. And now Mexico has decided to move a long planned trade railway connection worth billions of dollars from Texas to the New Mexico crossing. So Mexican Economy Minister Tatiana Clouthier said a planned rail and ports expansion known as the TMEC corridor to connect the Pacific port of Mazatlan and the Canadian city of Winnipeg would not use Texas, but instead the rail line would be routed along the far edge of West Texas up through Santa Teresa, New Mexico, about 20 miles west of downtown El Paso. And listen, the minister for the economy in Mexico explains exactly why they're making this decision. We are now not going to use Texas. We can't leave all the eggs in one basket and be hostages to someone who wants to use trade as a political tool. And as we've reported before, this ploy by Abbott was so disastrous that he had to end it. He put a stop to it after just 10 days. The slow pace of inspections and protests led by truckers upset at the delays led to routine backups of 5 to 12 hours at commercial border crossings. Some truckers interviewed by the Dallas Morning News said they had to wait 3 days just to cross. And if you're transporting, perishable items, you're not gonna make it. Everything's gonna rot in the back of the truck as you're trying to cross the border and get to where you're supposed to go. And so earlier reports indicated, as I mentioned, that Texas lost about $4.2 billion. That's the economic damage that was caused by just 10 days of this terrible policy. Abbott said he will be transferring another $500 million from other Texas agencies to finance his broader state border initiative, Operation Lone Star, which by the way is already costing Texans more than $2 billion a year. And look, the reason why this strategy by Abbott was completely unnecessary is because the federal government does the checking, like they do the security measures to ensure that people aren't smuggling humans or smuggling drugs into the country. In fact, it's actually pretty impressive how much the Biden administration has stepped up to the plate in regard to catching smugglers of all sorts of terrible drugs like fentanyl and meth. We'll get to that later in the show. But Cenk, what are your thoughts?
So we get into the usual territories here. One is Republicans doing senseless things for marketing gimmicks. So that's exactly what this was. It made no sense in the first place. And it cost the people of Texas a ton of money, and now long-term might cost them a devastating amount, right? And Republican governors and politicians do this all the time. The problem is the second component, which is the Democrats. The way you stop nonsense like this and bleeding out the taxpayers for your political gimmicks is the other side kicks your ass. So Beto O'Rourke is running against Greg Abbott in Texas. So I'm sure Beto O'Rourke is on this, and I'm sure he's lightly criticizing him, right? But Beto, I can't hear you. I don't know if you understand how politics and media works this day and age. You have to go for the jugular so we can hear you. You have to say things like, Greg Abbott is a piece of crap that costs every taxpayer in Texas, and name a number, whatever the correct number is, $170, $2,000. I don't know what the number is, but find out the number, be real, be factual, and then say, I can't believe he stole that from you, so that he could try to run for president. okay? It's cowardly, it's terrible, it's despicable, it's evil, okay? And just lay into him, so that people can hear, so that they can hear. But my guess is that Beto will whisper, as he's been taught on NPR. It's not a right thing to do. It's a little bit problematic, okay? Are you gonna kick his ass, or are you just gonna sit there? So there's no way Abbott should be reelected. He's cost not just the money of taxpayer citizens, he's cost the lives of Texas citizens, I should say. And so the way that he had people freeze to death so his donors could make more money, it's disgusting. Are Democrats ever going to take action and actually fight Republicans? The answer is likely no. So Abbott will probably get away with this too.
Yeah, I mean, look, to your point, the only reason why we even found out about this is because the White House put out just like a gentle press release asking Abbott to stop because it's actually causing more supply chain issues. And at a time when Americans are dealing with inflation, this ain't helping. But it was just that, it was just a press release. And what's also incredible, Cenk, is when you look at the smuggling of fentanyl, for instance. I had no idea that the Biden administration was able to seize 11 times more fentanyl at the border compared to Donald Trump in 2020. How are you not bragging about that?
Yeah, no, look, I hate to beat a dead horse or a dead donkey in this case, but Biden, Democrats, even on rare things you're good at, we can't hear you. How dumb are you? Politics is about marketing. If people don't know you did something, then they're not going to vote for you. Hey, inflation is out of control. You know why? Because the economy is booming and unemployment is at a record low. Did you ever hear that? No, because the idiot Biden never said it. He whispered it. Everybody on his team whispered it. They're so stupid, okay? So now on this, you seize 11 times the fentanyl of Trump. If I was in charge, you know what I'd do? I'd call a press conference and I would show like Katie Porter does with like jelly beans and M&Ms or whatever. And I'd have like 11 times more than Trump busted. And I'd go, I don't understand why Donald Trump was such a loser. Why did he let all these drugs into the country? The minute we got in charge, we caught all the drugs. It turns out Trump was letting all the drugs in. And then everybody's discussing why Trump was so bad at catching drugs. Instead, JD Vance, as we'll show you later in the show, is blaming it all on Biden. Because Biden whispered it. Losers, total losers.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.